Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Connie Bond-Stewart, PNC's Regional President for Central and Southern Indiana. Before I begin, I would like to personally thank Mark Miles, the CEO of Holman Companies and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for their hospitality in hosting us at this historic museum. These race cars represent over 100 years of IndyCar racing, and as an Indiana native, I'm proud to showcase this historic venue. It is only appropriate that we make our announcement with Chip Ganassi, his team, and Scott Dixon, because they represent some of the greatest moments in IndyCar's racing history. Chip and his teams have won 11 IndyCar Series championships and 5 Indianapolis 500s. In fact, he is the only owner in racing history to have won the Indianapolis 500, the Daytona 500, the Brickyard 400, Rolex 24 at Daytona, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and the 12 Hours of Sebring, 6 of the 7 greatest auto races in the world. These big wins only further solidify his status as a legend in the sport. In addition, his team just won an unprecedented 8th Rolex 24 at Daytona, and in doing so, they picked up the 200th victory as a team owner. And then there is Scott Dixon, who was one of the drivers in last week's historic Rolex win. Unquestionably, one of the greatest race car drivers in the 100-year history of the sport. He has 41 IndyCar Series wins and 4 IndyCar Series championships, along with an Indianapolis 500 victory on his resume. He is the 4th all-time in wins behind only A.J. Foyt and Mario and Michael Andretti, some excellent racing company. This setting, along with these 2 auto racing legends, could not be more perfect for our announcement today. I have the pleasure of leading PNC's local team in this market that is the home to the greatest spectacle in racing. PNC, like the sports legends here on stage, values the achievement, performance, and commitment to the communities where we live, work, and play. And now we're about to share some wonderful news in the heart of one of America's favorite racing hometowns. We have today with us a very special guest, PNC's Chairman, President, and Chief Executive Officer, Bill Demchak. Bill, some might find it a little unusual for a banker to be sitting up here with a racing team. So can you please share with us what this is all about?
Well, some people find me a little unusual generally, so that's okay. So probably no surprise by now as you look at the logo sitting on Scott's shirt, but PNC Bank is going to be the lead sponsor for the number 9 IndyCar this season. We are thrilled to be the lead sponsor with Chip Ganassi Racing this year. We've had a relationship with Ganassi Racing, I guess, going back 4 years now, which has been fantastically popular with our corporate clients and retail. And the idea of expanding it in our 5th year as Scott drives towards his 5th series championship just seemed to make a lot of sense for us, Connie.
And today we're going to be announcing?
We did announce. That we're the lead sponsor for the number 9 car.
That's right. Okay. Thank you, Bill. Chip, tell us from your perspective as a team owner how you feel about PNC being the sponsor of this car.
Well, thanks, Connie. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for being here. My relationship goes way back with PNC Bank. Was my first. Good morning. Let me start over. Good morning. Thanks for being here. My relationship goes way back. My first checking account ever was at PNC Bank when I opened my first checking account as a youngster in Pittsburgh, and I've had a great relationship over many years, and I've watched PNC develop from a Pittsburgh bank to a world-class financial institution. And I couldn't be more proud to be associated with a world-class institution like PNC and pair them up with a world-class driver like Scott Dixon. It's a real honor. It's a pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to doing this. I've always, as you know, I've been involved in motorsports for many years, and I've never had a partner or a sponsor that was also in my hometown, and so I'm really looking forward to doing a great job for them, and I'm sure Scott is as well, and we have a lot to look forward to here today and the coming season, the coming years.
Thank you, Chip. And Scott, a few years ago, you participated with PNC in early childhood event at a preschool, reading to some preschoolers, which is a big focus for PNC, early childhood education. So you have a taste of what our values are like, and I'm interested in your perspective and how you feel about partnering with PNC.
Very excited. I think to be a part of, two of these major brands, obviously with Chip, I've been with 17 years now, and then obviously there's been a partnership with PNC dating back to 2014. Earlier, I think with the reading program and the community outreach. I recently did an event in Kansas too, Kansas City, which was a lot of fun. So for me, I think it's Emma and my family were a very big part of the Indianapolis community, and I think it's very important to have those ties. And for us, I think with a brand like this, it's definitely going to be very exciting to have feet right on the ground and be able to do that. But I think it's it's a big demographic for both brands. Throughout the season as well, there's 8 major markets that PNC are a part of. For our racing season, so there's going to be a lot of partnerships and things that we can achieve. But I'm just extremely proud. We can focus hard on having another great season this year, and try and track down that 5th championship for myself, and another one, the 12th for this team.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Now I'd like to open it up for any questions that you might have for Chip, Bill, or Scott. Any from the press?
Thanks, Dave.
The excitement the series has right now, this new announcements, teams are now on board, you have this announcement. Where is the series heading right now?
Yeah, I think the question is, where is the series heading right now? I think you've seen a flurry of announcements the last week or so. People displaying their 2018 liveries, and so you're hearing about a lot of new sponsorships, new involvements from many teams. And I think it's just that just sort of tells the backstory of what Mark and his team have really been doing, here, and Jay with the the new car, and there's certainly a lot of excitement around that, and not only the fact that there's a new car. They've had new cars plenty of times, but I think this car really works, and I think people recognize that. The drivers like it. It's visually exciting. And so I think there's a lot of optimism going into the 2018 IndyCar season.
Any other questions? Yes. Greg?
First of all, congratulations on being the Grand Marshal of the Daytona 24 hours. That's
Thank you.
my question is for Scott. Driving in Daytona, the 24-hour race as a driver, what does that help you do in terms of preparing for this IndyCar season?
Anytime you can drive, I think is a good advantage. Especially in limited testing and current platform that we have. The testing is pretty minimal, but for us it's a very good team building exercise too. There's a lot of crossover between the 3 categories that Chip's running in. But for me, I love to drive, and the 24 hours is definitely a great example of that. But more importantly, it starts the winning trend, and it was nice to come off that, and hopefully we can continue that throughout the season. But I think it's a great way to start the season, and especially for me, a great way to kick off a more important IndyCar quest.
Any other questions? Please.
Could you go into a little more detail? You have the relationship with Chip team for 4 years now. What do you see as the benefits of how you can leverage being in the Verizon IndyCar Series to help build the brand?
Sure. Our past relationship had largely been around activating our corporate client relationship. So events around races where we would bring clients, and it was incredible what we found in terms of just the interest in Indy. And when you find, and you guys all know this, you find a true car enthusiast and you take them to a very specialized event right here in town at Indy, you have a client for life as long as you treat them well. This new opportunity now activates our brand on the retail side in addition to the corporate side. And as we mentioned, 8 of these races are actually inside of our major markets. So we'll be activating this through our employees and our branches, create excitement around the towns where the races will be. And beyond that, and across the country, we have corporate offices basically where every race is held. So we're excited by the opportunities and excited by the build in the Indy brand, the viewership that's increased, I think, 50% over the last 4 years. So we're thrilled to be on board.
Okay. With that, what I would like to do is ask you to turn your attention to this video, which will give you a sneak preview of the making of this important new number 9 PNC Bank Honda car, and then we'll move to unveil it.